Hello everyone, I'd like to welcome you to today's webinar, Transform Your Business by Creating a Winning E-Commerce Web Store. We appreciate you taking the time out of your schedule to join us today. There's just a couple of housekeeping items that we'd like to mention before we begin here. All attendees are going to be in listen-only mode today, but if you do have any questions throughout the presentation, please either raise your hand so that we can unmute you, or you can submit them through the GoToWebinar question box. We will be answering questions throughout the presentation, and we'll also be following up after to answer any additional questions you may have. And just as a reminder, our January communication was all about how you can find the data you need by organizing and connecting your systems. We included some add-on applications that we found help our GP clients achieve these results. And today we've invited eCommerce to join us. They'll be shedding more light on how you can better satisfy your customers by creating a more complete and synchronized e-commerce environment that is seamlessly integrated to GP. So at this point, I'd like to transition the presentation over to Rob from eCommerce.
Thank you. Thank you. I hope everyone's doing well today. I am going to go through a quick PowerPoint deck, probably 5 or 6 slides, just to give a high-level overview of who we are as a company, how we help customers have an integrated e-commerce solution for multiple, basically, channels. And my name is Rob Cook. I am the Channel Sales Manager here at eCommerce. I work with Socius and Socius customers to help them have an integrated web store. So what does that mean for you? It means that your environment or environments online are going to be automatically updated by the changes that you're making every single minute inside of Dynamics GP, for example. We can open up many different types of portals depending on your customer base. So for example, retail, B2C, the general public that you're trying to sell your items to. Everyone typically sees the same price, everyone sees the same inventory, everyone has the same checkout terms available, which is typically credit card or maybe PayPal. We can also open up more of a dealer or distributor portal, so more B2B, dealers, distributors, wholesalers, heck, even franchises, where when customers actually log on or go into the portal, they're logging on, and based off that login, we connect them to a customer ID or customer number inside of Dynamics. And off of that, we can do a few things. One, we can show specific inventory to specific customers, so you can cut up your catalog to different customers potentially. Secondly, we're pulling the pricing directly out of Dynamics, so they are seeing their pricing as soon as they log in. They are also seeing their terms available, so credit card only customers, net 15, net 30, net 45, etc. They're also seeing historical documentation, so they're not just seeing the sales orders or the documents that are being created online. I can go back as far as Dynamics goes back, and we can show them orders, invoices, returns, credits, all of that rich historical documentation that can be accessible by your customers within a few clicks, rather than having to call their customer service rep, or rather having to call their sales rep, allowing them to do more of the hunting and less customer maintenance, because you're allowing your customers to be more self-sufficient. They can go out there, they can look at your products, they can look at pricing, they can do all their own ordering online. The third type of portal that we open up is for your internal employees, so either sales, customer service, outside sales reps, a lot use this, and it is a portal for your internal employees to sign into. Based off of that sign-in, there can be permissions, so a certain sales rep might only be able to access their customers or group of customers they're allowed to sell to, and they can manage those customers on an online portal. So they'll be able to log in as themselves, pick a customer to manage, take a look at historical documentation, potentially do order entry for them. So a lot of the times this is used by outside sales reps that are on-prem doing order entry for customers, all based off of an internet access portal. So they'll be able to go on the internet. As long as they have access to the internet, they'll have access to the sales portal, and they will be able to do customer maintenance directly from their tablet, their cell phone, or even a laptop. We integrate to Microsoft Dynamics, as I mentioned, GP, Nav, AX, CRM, and there's a couple different deployment options that our customers have. We have a licensed version if you'd like to put it on-prem, or we also have a cloud version, which most of our customers go with, which is a PCI certified cloud. So we actually take the liabilities on the credit card side, and I'll get to that here in a few moments. We are very quick to market. Our typical deployment time is somewhere between 3 to 6 weeks, and that is depending on how many SKUs you have, how much static information, but walking you through a typical deployment, once we receive a signed contract and receive a payment, we schedule a kickoff call. We introduce you to your project manager. We are giving a lot of documentation regarding the product. We are introducing you to an implementation specialist, which is more of your technical resource on the deployment. And we are scheduling the sync to the database. So coming out of that kickoff call, we are syncing to your Dynamics database. Typically it takes about 3 to 5 business days, depending on how many SKUs you have. We are also at that same time working on the design of the site. So our customers are providing us with the look and the feel of their site in the form of a PDF, a mock-up. Heck, even if you have wireframes, those are always good as well, or even an example site. And we are going in and making the site look and feel like you want. So you're not stuck into a template per se. As I'll show some example sites, pretty much the sky's the limit on what you want. There is a 40-hour project of design work on our side that goes into our projects, and that is good for about 90% of our customers. If we need to change templates and get very elaborate with it, we can do that because we're a full design and development shop. But most of our customers fall within the templates that we already have built out because we have about 100 of them as of right now. Coming out of the design work, you guys are left to go into the back end of the platform and build out your catalog, assign the SKUs that we brought over from Dynamics to that catalog, and maybe add pictures and fluff content. So there's about a 3-week project on your guys' side, and then we can go live. But one thing that really separates eCommerce from some of the other e-commerce companies out there is that we work with you up front. I mean, our sales staff here and all the way up to the ownership, we want to make sure that you guys have fixed costs. We want to make sure that you know exactly what you're getting into before you decide to go with us. Because at the end of the day, on the cloud version of our platform, we're not locking you into anything other than a 30-day day contract, basically. It's month to month. So if you ever want to walk away, you can do so. We don't have many customers that do. We have a very good customer retention rate because we work with our customers. Our goal is to be your e-commerce vendor for the long run because, for us, we're constantly changing. E-commerce isn't what it is today than it was, 5 years ago, and who knows what it's going to be 5 years from now. So we're always constantly changing, not only with our technology and even our code base, but also all the way being as granular as cart functionality and integrations to Dynamics. So speaking about that integration to Dynamics, what we have built, and it is our software, everything that we sell is ours. So the eCommerce Sync technology we call K-Sync. And this is how we're going back and we're integrating to Dynamics. So we are hitting the customer tables. We're hitting their bill to ship tos. We're hitting their the sales reps associated to those accounts. I'm hitting the item fields. I'm hitting the code, the SKU ID. I'm hitting the short description. We're pulling the weight fields associated to those items to calculate shipping. I'm hitting the tax tables inside of Dynamics. I'm hitting the historical documentation, as I mentioned earlier, the orders, invoices, returns, credit memos. That is populating your website. Once the order is taken back, it could be through B2B, B2C, sales portal. We even have marketplaces out there like integrations to Amazon or eBay. Once those orders come back, we're putting that order back into Dynamics in the form of a sales order. So that it truly is a bidirectional flow of information. We're pulling and updating, and we're pushing the order back based on a sync. So our sync technology is done through Windows Service and SQL stored procedures, but you as the customer can update or really define those frequencies. For example, pulling over new SKUs, quantity updates, pricing updates, or even pushing the order back to Dynamics once that order has been captured online. All of those things can have different frequencies. So I could potentially bring over a new SKU once a day, update pricing every 15 minutes, and update availability every 5 minutes. But I want to push that order back into Dynamics every 60 seconds. So we can do it everything every minute. It's really up to you on how fast we want to, or how frequent we want to do the sync. Since we are going back and looking at Dynamics and looking for any changes and updating those changes inside of the back end of the platform, if Dynamics might be down, let's say Socius is doing an upgrade, or for whatever reason, wherever your platform sits or your GP database sits is down, maybe a power outage, the website is going to continue to stay up. It's going to continue to take those orders, and once that connectivity is reestablished, then those orders will push through, your quantities and pricing will update, etc., based on that next sync. But because we're not querying the GP database every single time someone is online and making an inquiry, the customers are staying outside your firewall. It's not going to tax the Dynamics database, and it's not going to tax the website of it. So your customers aren't going to see limitations on the website either. So a few integrations that I wanted to talk about real quick was the payment, the taxes, and the shipping, because they're one of the three of the biggest integrations that we have. I mentioned earlier about us having a PCI data center. So what that means to you. eCommerce invested as a company to have their own hosting center. Now, once we had the hosting center and we were hosting sites for our customers, we took it a step further and actually went out and we went through the PI DSS certification to be able to encrypt, store, and securely process the credit cards with inside of our platform. So what that means for you as a customer is that we are taking the liability for the credit card information, because there will be absolutely zero credit card information being stored in Dynamics. It will all be tokenized on our servers, allowing your customers to use that card as they come back to the website, but will allow them only to see the last 4 digits. We then send that information off to a gateway who talks to a processor who talks to the merchant accounts and comes back real time with an approval or a denial code. There are 2 different ways you can actually process a credit card coming off of the website. The first way you can do it is actually going in and processing and capturing the funds as soon as your customers purchase online. A typical customer that will do that is someone selling more of a service than a good. Customers that are selling goods typically do a pre-authorization. So what that does is it basically reserves the funds on the card. We will automatically post-authorize once that order is picked, packed, and shipped and turned into an invoice back office. So we will automatically post-authorize at that time, capturing those funds. There are also some automated things that go along with that, like automatically emailing the customer and telling them that their order has been shipped and here's their tracking number. We can also send emails to sales reps or anyone back office that needs that information as well. So we work with north of 10 gateways out there that you can pick through. 2 of the most popular ones being Authorize.net and BeanStream and PayPal, Moneris, like you see here, allowing you to be able to process those credit cards online. Now, tax integrations. Earlier, I had mentioned that we hit the tax tables inside of Dynamics, and that is true. So if you need to process tax online, we can directly read from the Dynamics database. Or if that gets too cumbersome to manage, there are third parties out there like Avalaire's Avatax and CCH, the Walters Cooler Company. So we can read, and we have integrations to those guys as well. Now shipping, we can process shipping and actually calculate and capture the monies for the shipping directly on the website. So how we do that is we have written integrations to FedEx, UPS, and USPS and Purolator, where we automatically go out and we take the weight fields, or we can also do dimensional fields out to these companies, and we can calculate off of the type of shipping, ground, 2-day, next day air, etc., the warehouse zipped and the ship to zipped, and then we can either calculate off of the standard rates for FedEx, UPS, USPS, or potentially if you have negotiated rates with these companies, we can calculate that as well. So the customer will know exactly how much their shipping cost is. We can apply it to the order and then put that order directly inside of Dynamics. So why do customers choose us, and what really makes us different in this industry and in this space? I mentioned earlier that we do fixed bid implementations. You're going to know exactly what you're getting into on a budget and a time basis before you decide to go with eCommerce. One of the biggest things is that eCommerce owns and operates everything that we do. We're not reselling anyone else's software. So what that means for you, if there's any ever questions, or if there's a bug, or there's something that isn't working correctly, you have one company to work with. There's never any finger pointing. But because we own and operate everything that we do, we can manage everything that we do. So we grow with you. We work with many different legacy companies out there that, once they're moving from GP10 to GP13, GP13 to GP15, we're able to grow with you because we're obviously receive a copy of that beforehand, and we make sure that you are able to upgrade. So with our support and enhancement contracts on the license side, or with the monthly fees on the hosting side, that covers support and enhancement. It's not just enhancement to the new versions of software that eCommerce is putting out on the cart side, but also the newer versions of the eCommerce, or the ERP on your guys' on Socius' side as well. So you will be able to grow as a company with this one platform. Also, what really defines us as a company is our investment into our software. Last year we rewrote our software in .NET 4.5, and that is the newest code base that's out there, allowing us to be, bring in certain technologies. The big one was the responsive design. And what responsive design is it basically took the need of having a mobile site off the table. So I have pulled up a demo here that I have, and I'll show you some live examples as well. But what we have here and what responsive is the ability to automatically respond to whatever device anyone is accessing your website from. So for example, I'm on a full-size monitor right now, but if I was to drop down to, let's say, a tablet or even a cell phone, you're noticing that as I go down here, this website is automatically responding to the size of my device all the way down to a cell phone. Everything will be vertical. There will be no left or right scrolling. So this allows your customers to be able to access your site or sites from any kind of device out there. There is no need these days to update, or have a mobile version, update that mobile version for every device that's out there and for every browser that's out there. And then finally, your internal employees, when they're accessing, you can do order entry through the sales portal with responsive. So they can have a tablet, they can go to a customer's site of business, and they can do order entry directly in front of them on any device, from a cell phone to a full-size monitor. So with that said, I'm going to jump over and access a few different sites. I'm going to cover the back end of the portal as well. And then open it up for questions after that, probably here in about a half hour. So here I am. I am at a demo environment, and as of right now, I am not signed in. This is a B2C. It's consumer. The site doesn't necessarily know who I am right now. Everyone can see the same inventory. Everyone can see the same pricing. I can come out and I can search by a keyword. Potentially, I might be able to do an advanced search, or I can go down and I can drill down in through a catalog or a hierarchy. So for this example, I want to take a look, at apparel, maybe men's apparel. At this point, you'll notice that it builds a breadcrumb, and at my tees and shirts, this is where my items are assigned to. I have normal cart functionality open up here. How many do I want to see per page? Do I want to sort by title? We can sort by alphabetical. I can sort by price high to low. We have an average rate review, so there's a rate review on the products as well. And what that does is allows us to redefine these products based on the average review. And we also have a bestseller, so we'll actually go back, we'll take a look at which one of these items or SKUs have been sold the most and rate them appropriately. On the left over here, I have filters turned on, so we can sort by any attribute of these items. For example, a white shirt, a black coat, a green t-shirt, etc. So by clicking on the black, it will basically go out, take a look at all the SKUs that are assigned to tees and shirts, and only pull back the ones that have the black attribute. I'm going to jump over into this website as well and show you an item. So once I actually click down into an item, this is where you see a lot of the information that's coming over from Dynamics. So you'll notice I went to baseball, I went to gloves. Here's all of my gloves that are assigned to batting gloves, where I can sort by attribute, or I can actually access the item by clicking on it. You'll notice that we have multiple pricing set up. If you buy one or more, 1 to 19 is $39.99, 20 or more, $19.99. That's typically more of a B2B functionality, but you can turn it on depending on what you sell on a retail as well. Here's where you see price coming out of Dynamics. I have my user rate review turned on, and I have my long description showing my SKU coming out of Dynamics, showing a picture. And what I have turned on here is I have many what we call linked attributes. So for example, this glove here, it comes in 4 different colors, and it comes in 4 different sizes. So I actually have 16 different SKUs being pulled from Dynamics, grouped together, and associated to this one product listing. So by changing, and that's kind of what you see down here in more of a grid view, we can have a drop-down view as well, similar to what you'll see on that product. But I can go down and I can say I want one small batting glove that's in an orange color. Maybe I want one small that's in a black as well. And I can add them all to my shopping cart. Once I add them to my shopping cart, you'll notice that it has added a soft cart up here, allowing me to see what I added to the cart. I can modify the cart, or I can go ahead and place the order like I'll do now. This is where I want to show the one-page checkout. So if I was signed in as a returning customer, all my bill to and ship to information would be automatically filled out, and it would allow me to potentially select through a different shipping option if I have multiple shipping centers or multiple addresses inside of Dynamics GP. I could come in here, I could take a look, I could type my information in, my shipping information, if I had a PO number, maybe a shipping instruction, and maybe even a required date. I don't need this till the 23rd. I could go ahead and place this coupon or place this order and potentially even applying a coupon. So we can do spend X, get X off, free shipping, buy, get specials, all of those within a coupon. Credit card information, very clean. I can simply check what kind of credit card I want to use, type that credit card information in, a verification or CVV2 number, and then my expiration date, year, and name as it appears on the card. I can use my same billing address, and I can confirm my order. So this is retail. I'm coming in. I'm drilling down into a keyword search. I'm drilling down into maybe a hierarchy, like I showed on the other site, and then I am placing an order. Once I place this order, we are taking this customer, we're adding them to Dynamics, we're adding this order to that customer's record, allowing you to do your back office processes of pick, pack, ship. Turn that order into an invoice. There's the automated processes I talked about earlier with the credit card, giving you that full integrated solution. So that's the key here, is the integrated solution on the website to your Dynamics database. So that was retail. Now what I want to do is sign in. And when I sign in, what I'm going to see here is I am a B2B account now. So this recognized this email address as a B2B account. The look and the feel of a B2B account is typically a little bit different than a B2C account. So for example, when I log in here, it just doesn't show me the home page with my slider. It shows me my account page. I can take a look at all of my old invoices and orders. I could potentially take a look at any saved carts I have, frequently placed orders. I can also do an order express, which I'll get to in a little bit. I can update my credit card information. I can also take a look at my profile, my addresses. I have the ability to go in and change all of this. So as soon as I sign in, it is basically pinging me and letting me know that, hey, this is the customer number coming out of Dynamics GP. Based off of that customer number, I can assign them a specific catalog. So you can create a catalog and assign it to a customer or a class of customers. As soon as I sign in, it is assigning me to that catalog and showing me my pricing that I have set up inside of Dynamics. It is also showing my terms that I mentioned earlier, so I will have the ability as I go into my cart here and actually place an order to be able to place an order on terms. So I have them on my account. If you had different terms available, 30, 60, 90, then those would show. As I mentioned earlier, my billing information and my shipping information all show up. I can pick my shipping method based on the shipping methods that you guys offer as a company. I might put in a PO number, maybe shipping instructions, and required date that I mentioned earlier. Showing me a cart review with my subtotal and my shipping and my total dollar amount. Allowing me to bill it on account, maybe agree to a terms and conditions, and confirming my order. But the biggest difference in B2B and B2C is typically how people order. So as a customer coming out here to a portal, it's typically about quick order entry. B2C is more adding an item into a cart one by one by one, where B2B is typically quick order entry. They might go in and build out a catalog or build out a save cart. A lot of people, what they do is they will go in and they will do quick order entry. So I can take a look at my old orders. So for example, the order that I just placed. Here's the order I just placed. I really like this order. I want to repeat this order. My button coloring is off here, but the button on the bottom will be reorder. So I can simply come down, okay, I want to place this order again. By clicking my reorder button, it'll throw everything back into the cart, allowing me to process that order. What we can also do is what we call Order Express or express ordering, where our customers can go in and build out a cart by knowing the item or SKU in the quantity they want. So it's a part number quantity dump. They can do that by typing in an attribute or the part number, like I did now with spring, selecting spring, and it will show me all of my items that I have that are associated to the word spring by either a part number or an attribute of that part number. You can also come in here and do a Excel dump, from the desktop via an Excel file or CSV file. And the newest technology we built into this was to come in and do a copy paste. So if you do have, if your customers have an Excel file that they have a code and a quantity, they can simply, Control V, come in here and Control C, and automatically fill this form out, allowing them to place this order all at once. So that's more B2B functionality rather than B2C, whereas B2C was retail-based. This is B2B dealer distributor-based. They're seeing their own pricing. They have the ability to do quick order entry. They can take a look at those that historical documentation, and that's all historical documentation from whenever you want to show it inside a GP. If you only want to go back 2 or 3 years, or if you want to go back 10 years, your customers can have access to all of that information. I mentioned earlier that we have the ability to go out to Amazon or eBay as well. So all the marketplaces out there, we can basically take the information that you have inside of Dynamics. We can, through an API that we have built to Amazon or eBay, we can publish out the items, the pricing, the quantities out to Amazon or eBay. And once those orders flow back through into the eCommerce platform, we can then write them down into Dynamics once they come back. So those marketplaces are available and have them in place with many of our customers now. That third type of portal and how you access the sales or customer service portal is through the backend manager. So that is what I am showing right now, is the backend manager to our portal. This is the landing page. The UI is very clean. When our customers access this page, you will see training information. You will see contact information. Here's our email for support. Here is our number for support. Currently, we have support from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is changing to 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so 12 hours a day. If we ever need to do, training, we can have, Rescue Me login or screen share if we want to do a go-to-meeting to be able to answer any questions that our customers have. So with that support and enhancement contract, you have a resource. We're not just, leaving you guys all by yourself with a piece of software that we sold. You have an e-commerce partner that will work with you throughout deployment and post-deployment to be able to be your e-commerce partner and grow with you as you want to grow online. So that last portal that I was talking about, the Sales and Customer Service portal, is located under the CRM tab. There's a couple things I'll talk about real quick. First and foremost, sales orders. I can see any sales order that is in the system from this portal. So I don't have to access that throughout GP if I don't want to. I can also take a look at abandoned carts. So for example, if I was a sales manager and I want to go take a look at all my abandoned carts, and I can print those abandoned carts off, and I want to give those abandoned carts to a sales rep to follow up on, I can do that. See how many conversions I can get. So here are all my abandoned carts. I could potentially print these off, as I mentioned, give it to a sales rep and have them follow up on that. Now my customer service tab, as you see here, is the Sales and Customer Service portal I was talking about earlier. As I mentioned, I can come in here and I can select an account, or I can create an account on the fly. So if I have a new customer, I can do new customer creation from this portal. I can take their, their company name, their information, and I can actually create a B2C or a B2B user that will push them back inside of Dynamics directly from this portal. So I have the ability to search by a customer. Let's say I had Ryan B2B on the phone. I can come out here and I can search by Ryan potentially. I also have a list of customers down here. What I will do is I'm going to actually go in and pick Ryan B2B. So here's Ryan B2B. And now I am web_10, which is my sign-in, and I am managing Ryan B2B. Directly once I do this, or immediately once I pick Ryan B2B, I have the same view that he had within his B2B portal. I can go in and I can take a look at his historical documentation. I can go in, I could do an order, express order. I could go in and I could take a look at his old orders and order off of an old order. I could update his credit card information for him. I can manage this customer online. This is also used by, sales reps. I'm Ryan B2B's sales rep and I'm on-prem. Hey, let's do some order entry. Okay, well, he wants to place a new order. I can simply go down and I can, maybe if I know the part numbers, I can order off of the part number quantity dump. I could also drill down into a hierarchy and take a look at the items for him. So he has a question about a spring jacket. I can come out here. I can take a look at this spring jacket. I can answer his questions. I can show him his pricing, potentially quantity break pricing, and I can do that order entry directly in front of him without having to be VPN'd into GP and being on-prem, all doing it off of that internet-based product. Now, the one thing that I didn't really cover was the actual static side of the information. So this is our corporate website, and it is built off of the same platform. We turned the buying environment off, and we created about 300 different static pages with static information for our potential customers or customer base or partner base. You have the ability to do the exact same thing. So a lot of our customers, I'd say 60 to 70% of our customers will actually use this product for not only their corporate or e-commerce site, but also their corporate site, because you can create as much static information as you want out there. So, about us, contact us, frequently asked questions, privacy policy. All of that information can be created within our CMS, allowing you to have one system that is responsive. So all of the static information, once I go to, let's say customers and gallery, for example, and by the way, under customers and gallery on our corporate site, this is where you can see some examples of sites. I'll show a few here in a minute, but you'll notice that the look and the feel of these are, every one of them is a little bit different in their own way. We're not cookie cuttering our customers into a specific type of site. You have carte blanche on what you really want. So everything is responsive, which is very important with static information as well as e-commerce information. So if you want all of your online presence to be built off of one portal, that is what a lot of our customers will do. Some of our other customers, though, will have a responsive corporate page already built out, and you can simply hang our site off of your corporate site, allowing your customers to access it. We can make it look and feel the same, so to your customers it makes it look like you've never left that environment, but realistically then you're hitting the e-commerce pages, allowing them to do order entry. Back to the back end of the portal here, I want to show a few things. First, I want to show the products, and specifically a category. So if you want to deploy our site, you will come in and you will create a category structure, or basically a category tree. So as you can see here, this is the tree that I was showing off of our site that we just saw with the apparel, the men's apparel, and the tees and shirts. At the tees and shirts level, this is where you assign your SKUs that we pulled over from Dynamics. Our smallest customer has about 2 SKUs, or has 2 SKUs, and our largest customer has somewhere in the range of 1.2 million SKUs. So we can really scale one way or the other, depending on what your needs are. You can assign more than one product to multiple different trees. So let's say it was a unisex shirt, you could assign it to a men's tee and a woman's tee, for example. And then drilling actually down into a product record, what you'll see here are all my product codes. These are the codes that we pulled over from Dynamics GP. Accessing one of these codes is where I wanted to show some of the information coming over from GP, but as well as the WYSIWYG editor. So inside of the backend, you will see the identification. A lot of this will be grayed out, like the code coming from GP, your status, your type, your unit of measure coming from GP, etc. What you have under the description tab here is a few things. First and foremost is a WYSIWYG editor. What you see is what you get. But you have the ability to come in here and add potentially, your what I call fluffy content. So your super long descriptions, maybe a PDF, maybe a link to a YouTube video, supporting content details, size charts, etc. So you have the ability to do that within the tab view like you see here in more of a Word format, or even if you have the ability to do HTML, you can come and do HTML coding as well. We are fully multi-language and multi-currency. So if you wanted multi-language, that can be done here, and it'll also drip down into your SEO, which I'll show in a minute. Photos, we are pulling the photos from an FTP file that we give. Those photos are thrown into that file with the naming convention of sku.jpg. If there's multiple pictures, it'll be sku.jpg, sku1.jpg, and we'll assign them automatically to the items. The reason that we don't pull pictures from Dynamics is because of the limitations with a couple INET fields and a handful of user-defined fields, where in the back end of eCommerce, we take these pictures. You can have unlimited pictures, and as you'll notice, we resize those pictures automatically, 5 different sizes. The largest being zoom. So we recommend that these pictures are at least, 1,200 by 1,200 pixels. We're doing automated SEO with URL mapping, page titles, meta descriptions, meta keywords. GP doesn't really support product dimensions, but we do have the table structure to do so. So if you wanted to calculate shipping off of a product dimension, we have that table structure in here to do so, which can be imported in. And that's very important, and that's pretty much where I'll leave on the products, is that anything that you have to do into the back end of the portal, let it be creating that category tree, let it be populating your fluffy content for the items, or bringing in your pictures. There are upload templates for everything. You don't have to do it one by one by one. We give you the tools to be self-sufficient and not waste time. Under e-marketing, we have simple e-marketing. This isn't going to replace your Constant Contacts or MailChimps or whatever you might have in place now, but it allows you to create flyers, create newsletters, and send those flyers and newsletters out to your customers. Analytics, we really didn't reinvent the wheel when it came to analytics. There was no need to. We integrate to Google Analytics. So if you sign up for Google Analytics and you apply your Google Analytics account information to the back end of the eCommerce portal, you actually get their dashboard and be able to see all the page hits and whatnot. I wanted to spend the majority of my time under the CMS. So this is where you will have the ability to create all the information that you want in regards to the look and the feel of the site. So we are helping you up front, basically on deployment, to make sure that we're streamlining everything, and we have the designers to go in and make the site look and feel like you want. Now, with that said, you have the ability to change your look and the feel as you go. You don't have to come back to us every time you want to make a color change or every time you want to change a picture on a slider, for example. with the CMS that, if anyone in the room is familiar with WordPress, it's very similar, but this is a eCommerce product. We built it from the ground up, where you can see all of my different pages on my website. I can come in here, I can search a page, I can create a new page, I can assign a layout, assign a theme to that layout, and then add potential medias to that specific page. What I wanted to do is take a look at my home page here and edit it. I can see my home page and how it looks currently. I can go in and I can make changes. And this is our responsive design layer that you'll see here. So I can see how my site's going to look in a full-size desktop. I can see how it's going to look in a horizontal tablet, a vertical tablet, a horizontal cell phone, and then finally a vertical cell phone. So you can see how your site is going to render throughout these 5 different types, all within this one CMS. I can come in, I can make changes, I can save it off as a draft, and then finally publish that draft. I can come in and I can basically, select a logo, select a slider. I can come in, I can, add information onto my pages, all within this CMS. I can create any page that I want, be it a static page all the way down to the item pages. So for some example sites, you can come out and take a look at under the customer tab in the gallery. I think there's about 30 sites out here. And with that, I'd like to open it up for questions, make sure that we have enough time to answer any questions that anyone might have at this time.
All right, I don't see any that have come in the chat box, but we'll hang out for just a minute here in case anybody does want to jump in here with a question.
All righty.
All right, I don't see anything. It must have been because the presentation was just so thorough.
With e-commerce specifically, there's just so many, with a web presence, there's just so deep you can go. So if anyone does have any questions, feel free to reach out to us, through associates there, and we'll get them answered, or even schedule a meeting with anyone that wants one.
All right, well, thanks so much for your time today, Rob, and thank you everyone for joining us today.
All right, thank you everybody. Bye-bye.